11. Thank you, Jesus. Let's go to Proverbs 11. Hallelujah. Thank you, Jesus. Glory to God. That's what you ought to be doing when you believe it's already done. Glory to God. When you know it's already done, that's what you ought to be doing. Just giving Him glory. Yeah. Sometimes we wait on Him to do it, then I'll bless Him. Got any folk in here this morning want to bless Him in advance? Yeah. Give Him an upfront blessing. Hallelujah. All right. Proverbs 11:3. Let's stand together and just read that, and then I'm going to start right in from that point. Proverbs 11:3. I think that's where I stopped week before last. Proverbs 11:3. I gave you that, but I'm not going to deal with that this morning because I've already dealt with it. I'm going to be moving forward. Amen? Amen. All right, let's just read it together anyway. The integrity of the upright shall guide them, but the perverseness of transgressors shall destroy them. Go ahead and give somebody a great big God bless you. I need some folk to come back to me this morning. I want to know what you know. I want to know what you know. Y'all know anything? Yes. Hello? Yes. Anybody else other than 2 or 3 people know anything? Yes. I want to know what you know. Amen. What does urine mean? Light. Everybody in agreement with that? Yes. What does thumbing mean? Perfection. Then if you put the 2 together, you got what? Now what does perfect light do?
Guides you.
Gives direction. It guides us or gives direction. Amen. Don't forget that, because this is important throughout this whole series. It gives direction. Urim, U-R-I-M, meaning light. Thummim, T-H-U-M-M-I-M, means perfection. Put them together and you have what? Perfect light. Now, who has that been fulfilled in? Jesus Christ. All the way back to Exodus 28:30. If you hadn't been with us all this time, all the way back to Exodus 28:30, you will understand that if one had need of wisdom or direction personally, or if they had need of wisdom and direction corporately, that they had to consult with the high priest. And the high priest would come forth with the Urim and the Thummim. The Urim and the Thummim becomes light. And it becomes the perfect light. So that they would get or leave out of the presence of the high priest with clear instruction and direction. Make sure you don't forget that. Perfect light to give direction. It's been fulfilled through who? Jesus Christ. He is the perfect light, and He gives the perfect direction. Okay, so then when we're seeking answers, and I've given this to you, when we're seeking answers, answers can sometimes come how? Through people, that's one way.
Through His Word.
Through His Word, that's another way.
You can write it on your heart.
Write it upon the tables of our heart, or upon our hearts. Got 3 ways there. May have many more, but I've discussed those 3 with you. Through people. Oftentimes we get it through studying and reading the scriptures. How many of you have ever read the Word of God and right there you found the answer to something you were reading? Amen. How many of you have ever needed some direction, some light shed on something, and while you were studying or reading the Word, boom, there was the answer right there. So He also does it through His Word. And then He writes it upon our hearts. That is through revelation. This message that I'm dealing with this morning, after studying and looking at it, then going back to the table yesterday, man, while I was lying there last night, I was preaching this message. I was teaching this message in this service this morning. And then all of a sudden, I dropped the mic and went to my seat. Okay. He writes it where? Upon your heart. Now you'll find reference to that in Jeremiah 31, verses 31 through 34. So it brought me all the way down. It brought me all the way down to Proverbs 11 and verse number 3. And we've already talked about it. But let me go back and pick back up with it because I'm going into the series now on the word integrity. I want to start right there. Proverbs 11 and 3, you'll find what he says here. We've already read it together. The integrity of the upright shall guide them, but the perverseness of transgressors shall do what? Destroy them. So here's what I did. I gave you this to kind of open you up. I took you to Proverbs 20 and verse number 7. So flip over there real quick. Proverbs 20 and verse number 7. Now, out of Proverbs 11 and verse number 3, he says the integrity of the upright shall do what? Guide them. The word, the Hebrew word that is translated integrity, I gave you that, is called what? T-U-M-M-A-H. T-U-M-M-A-H. That's the Hebrew word that is translated integrity, and it comes from the same word as thummim. Tuma, T-U-M-M-A-H, comes from the same word as thummim, the word integrity. So keep that in mind. Proverbs 20, flip over there real quick. Proverbs 20. Notice what he says here in Proverbs 20 and verse number 7. Oh, you already got that? Yes. Oh, okay. All right. Look at you. What does it say?
The just man walks in his integrity. His children are blessed after him.
Look at that. The just man does what?
Walk in his integrity.
And what?
His children are blessed after him.
Where's Benny? Has Benny gotten back out here yet? All right. Where's his wife? Where Keisha? She back there with him too? All right then. All right. All right. Proverbs 20, verse number 7. Somebody jot it down for them. Notice what he says here. And I want you to make this note there, and I won't go back and deal with it because I've already dealt with it. Integrity then benefits our families. Yeah. Notice what he says here. He says in verse number 7, a just man walketh in his integrity. And here's what happens. His children are blessed after him. It has a snowballing effect. If a just man is walking in his integrity, listen, it's going to open doors for his children and his family. What is recognized in him is going to be recognized in his children. Same blessings that he received will be blessings that his children will receive. Same way folk look at him, they're going to look at his children. So he says if the just man walks in integrity, then quite obviously, or the just woman, not just the man, the just woman as well, listen, their children are going to be blessed. Yeah. You want your children blessed? Walk in integrity. Because integrity will benefit the whole family. Yeah. Just look at some of your lives right now, and then look at the lives of your children. Yeah. Your children are being blessed now because you are people of integrity. Right. Yeah. And when you're people of integrity, your children are going to be what? People of integrity. Not mean that they're not going to make no mistakes. Right. Doesn't mean that they're not going to get in trouble. Doesn't mean that sometimes they're not going to get off track. You know why? Because that has affected every one of us. Yeah. But the bottom line is that we still have integrity. Yeah. Well, Pastor, how can you say that? Then let's move forward then, and I'll tell you how I'm going to say this. Let me take this out and say it. So then, first of all, you'll find in Proverbs 27, integrity does what? It benefits our who? Our families. All right, here's another thing I want you to jot down. Integrity provides direction personally. Integrity provides direction personally. You got that? Yes. All right, and I'm going to say several things about that. And then I'm going to move on to the next one because I want to cover at least 2 of these over the next few minutes. All right, it provides integrity. When I say it, integrity provides direction personally. Because you got to go back and remember, integrity is tuma. And tuma means thumbing. And thumbing means what? Yeah, perfection. To give direction. All right, so here's what. When I'm asking the Lord for direction, how many of you know that we ought to consult God about everything? But how many of you know sometimes when we're asking the Lord for direction, it doesn't come instantly? Not that he's not guiding us or giving us light or giving us direction, but sometimes the answer may not come immediately, and sometimes it does, and we just may not recognize it. Simply because God may not be saying anything, he is just guiding us as we walk, as we step, as we go, as we move. Abraham was called by God to go into a land that he knew not.
That's right.
But the scripture says by faith he went.
That's right.
He went not knowing where he was going.
That's right.
But how many of you know while he was going, God was giving light all of the time and giving direction?
Yeah.
Sometimes the Lord doesn't say anything. He just guides us along the way, and the Spirit helps us to understand that it's God. Because how many of you know he's not going to lead you to nothing that's going to be a destruction to you? He's going to lead you and guide you into all truth. And whatever God leads you and guides you into, it's going to be the truth. And sometimes he doesn't say a thing. He's just leading us and guiding us. How many of you are saying to him, God, I'm willing to follow you? Amen. Let me show you how integrity comes in here. Let me show you how integrity, and I just want to talk about myself. Because when I'm asking the Lord for direction, two questions always come to mind. Whenever I'm asking God for direction, two questions always come to mind. Here's my number one question. Am I asking with integrity? Am I asking for God for direction with integrity? Now, if I'm asking with integrity, I want God's honest answer. And when I get God's honest answer, I don't have to seek a confirmation. Because if I'm asking with integrity, my integrity is saying, God, what I'm asking you for direction for, when you tell me what you want me to do, I'm going to obey you. Watch this. Listen to this. Listen to this. That's integrity. Now, my second question is, am I asking out of curiosity? Help me, God. Am I asking out of integrity or am I asking out of curiosity? Because sometimes I'll catch myself praying out of curiosity and not saying to the Lord, whatever you say, I'll do, but rather, here's how it goes. Lord, give me your opinion on the matter, and I'll decide later whether I'm going to follow you or not. Integrity says, God, I'm asking you because I really want to know, because I don't know. But whatever you tell me, that's what I'm going to do. You remember when Jesus went to the wedding in Cana of Galilee, don't you? First miracle he ever did. And they ran out of wine, and they were pressing Mary to go and ask your son Jesus to turn something, water, into wine. You remember that? Mary, can you get him to do it? You his mama. And Mary came back, and here's what they were saying. They were saying, what did he say, Mary? What did he say? They was waiting. You know, folk waiting to know, what the Lord tell you? What the Lord tell you? What did he say, Mary? And Mary said this, whatever he tells you to do, do it. Here's what Jesus told him. He said, just tell them to go fill up the water pots. Now, some of y'all know that's not powerful enough for you, for Jesus to tell the pastor, to tell you, go fill up a glass of water. How many of y'all know that's how the Lord works a lot of times? What did he say, Pastor? He said, go back and pray and seek his face and stay in his presence, and he'll speak to you. Oh, no, I've done all of that. I ain't got to go back and do all of that again. But if you ain't had the answer, evidently you hadn't saw his face. Because here's the thing God wants to do. When we're serious with God, he's serious with us. So if I'm asking, so then Mary come back. Jesus says, go tell them to fill up the water pots.
That's right.
Mary, what did he say? Whatever he tells you to do. Do it. You don't need to consult with 1,900 other folk. If you know that what God has said to you, that's what he meant. And if you ask him out of integrity, Integrity says, I'm going to do what you tell me to do.
That's right. That's right.
Now, curiosity says, I just want to hear what your answer was, Lord. And you let me make this decision. Here's what we do. Thank you for the answer, but I'll decide myself what I'm going to do. That's curiosity.
Yeah.
And my mama used to tell me curiosity killed. Oh, y'all had something to say, mama. Listen, there is a difference here. Whenever we are seeking God or direction, personally, integrity will provide direction for every one of us, personally, individually, or corporately. If we're sincerely asking God out of, there's that word, integrity. So here's what I want to say on this note. Approach the Lord then with integrity. Some of us are sitting here right here today, need some direction from God about certain things in our lives. Here's what the Lord will have me to tell you. Approach the Lord then with integrity. If he tells you to move and you're not ready to move, don't ask him.
Amen.
If you approach him and say, Lord, what will you have me to give into this ministry? If he tells you to give $5,000 and you know good doggone well, I ain't finna give First Walltown Baptist Church no $5,000, don't ask him. Amen, guys. If he tells you to bless a brother or a sister in your family, in your household, in this ministry, and you know you're not ready to do it, don't even ask him.
That's right.
But if you're asking him out of integrity, then do what he tells you to do.
Amen.
That's why a lot of times I hear pastors and I hear people when they're getting ready to receive tithes and offerings, not in this ministry, but many times I've been in crusades, I've been in conventions, I've been other places, and when we make the appeal for the offering, we tell people to pray and ask God to speak to your heart right now about what he would have you to give. If you're going to do that with integrity, then whatever he tells you to give, you ought to be giving it.
That's right.
Not saving it until you get under another teacher that you think is better than the teacher that I'm under, and I don't mind giving $5,000, but I'm going to give it under the teacher that I don't think a whole lot of, because if God said do it, there's a reason for him saying to do it. Some of y'all don't believe that. You're going to have to hear that from somebody else. I'm going to take you to Genesis in a few minutes. I'm going to show you what I'm talking about. So then, listen to me good. Approach the Lord how? With integrity. Say, whatever you say, Lord, I'll do it. And listen, I promise you, if I can't promise you nothing else, I promise you that he'll give counsel and he'll give guidance to you if you approach him with what? Integrity. He'll open and close doors if you approach him with integrity. He'll bring the counsel of wise brothers and sisters if you'll approach him with integrity. He'll even open scripture to you if you seek him with what? Integrity. So then, two things I've discussed already. Integrity will benefit who? Our family. And integrity will provide what? Direction. Personally. Here's the third thing. Integrity protects from iniquity. Jot it down. You're going to love it. 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 Integrity protects from iniquity. Now, what do I mean by that? Sin stinks. Amen? Amen. Sin also destroys. It erodes. Sin ruins lives. Sin will rob us of our joy.
Yes.
Amen, lights. Sin will have you coming in the auditorium with your head hung way down. The way you can't even see who's in here. And they can't even see who's up under that hung down head. Y'all agree with that?
Yes.
But integrity protects from iniquity. See, as believers, there's a whole lot of things we can do, but we don't do it because we know what effect it will have on us and our lives. See, as a believer, there's a whole lot of things you can do. As a preacher, there's a whole lot of things I can do. As a preacher and teacher, there's a whole lot of things you can do. But you don't do it because of integrity. There's a whole lot of times I'm out of town. You're out there. A whole lot of times you're out of town. Nobody else is around. No other believers are around. You can take a sip if you want to. I've been places where some pastors said, hey, see that lady coming down the aisle right there? Now this is true. I've been some places in my past years, not recently, but past year, I've been some places, I'll be sitting there in the pulpit, pastor say, see that lady coming down the aisle right there? Yeah. Me and my wife been knowing her for years. She's been a faithful member of this church for years. She wants to spend a little time with you while you're here, not me. And I've had some pastors, honestly, I've had some pastors say to me, Bishop, you can't be that holy. May not be that holy, but that ain't me. Amen? When ain't none of your members said, that's all right, he's here.
That's right.
And then when I mount this pulpit tomorrow evening, I wanted to hear what God is saying. I've had some pastors that ask me, they didn't come out and ask me where I know they wanted to ask me, but they asked me, are you all right? You big fella, 200 something, you all right? You don't believe me, try me. I'm all man every day. You don't believe me, try me. You don't think I'm all man, just try me. Just try me. Somebody shout integrity. Integrity will protect you from iniquity. Some of them I know they be won't ask. You from I wish you'd even try to treat me like I am. Ooh, Jesus, and then my integrity will be put on trial. Tell somebody, say integrity protects you from iniquity. Somebody just shout, sin stinks. Let's go to Genesis chapter 20. So how can we be protected from it? How can we be protected from it? And one of the ways is through integrity. How can we be protected from iniquity? One of the ways is through integrity. Let's go to Genesis chapter 20. I want to cover as much of this right quick as I can, but if not, I'm going to cover a little bit, and I'm going to get you out of here.
What did you say?
Genesis 20, starting at verse 4.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am, gladly. I want you to be with me.
Yeah.
Let's go to Genesis chapter 20. And I would start at verse 4 for the sake of time. But let's go on up to verse 1. You can spend another minute. Let's go to verse 1. Let's read together. And Abraham journeyed from thence toward the south country and dwelled between Kadesh and Shur, and journeyed in Gerar. And Abraham said of Sarah, his wife, she is my sister. And Abimelech, king of Gerar, sent and took Sarah. But God came to Abimelech in a dream by night and said to him, behold, thou art but a dead man, for the woman which thou hast taken, for she is a man's wife. Look at that. Read. But Abimelech had not come near her. And he said, Lord, wilt thou slay also a righteous nation? Said he not unto me, she is my sister. And she, even she herself said, He is my brother. Now, here's this word. Look at it. Read it with me. In the integrity of my heart and innocency of my hands have I done this. Who is that speaking? Who is that? Abimelech. That's King Abimelech. Now, he's a king. But listen to what he says. There's that word, and you'll see it here for the first time. He says, in the integrity of my heart and the innocence of my hands have I done this. Read on to verse 6, and I'll stop you there. And God said unto him in a dream, Yea, I know that thou didst this in the integrity of thy heart. For I also withheld thee from sinning against who? Against who? Now who is that talking? That's God. He said to Abimelech, I held you back. Through integrity, I protected you from sinning against who? Me. It's God. Help me somebody. Let's read. Let's finish reading it. Let's finish reading for the sake of time. Therefore, suffer I thee not to touch her. Listen to that. Listen to that. I'm going to wrap up. Listen to that. And we'll come back and deal with it later. Here's the thing I want you to know. Here's what I want you to know. As was the case with Abimelech. The man, the woman, the young man, the young woman, the boy, the girl, the nation, the church, the believer who chooses to live in integrity will be kept from further sins which would or could wipe us out personally or nationally.
Yes, Lord.
Did you get all that, or do I need to repeat that again? You need to repeat it. As the case with Abimelech, because that's what I read to you, the story of Abimelech. So let me put it like this. As it was with Abimelech. That's all I'm saying. As it was in what we just read in this story, then, the man, the woman, the young man, the young woman, the boy, the girl, the nation, the church, the believer who chooses. See, it's got to be a choice. You can either choose to fall in iniquity or you can choose to walk in integrity. Help me somebody. Yes. Then, the man, the woman, the young man, the young woman, the boy, the girl, the nation, the church, the believer who chooses to live in integrity will be kept. How many of y'all know God's a keeper? Integrity will protect you. Help me somebody. From iniquity. So then, if you choose then to live in that integrity, as the story you just read here, if you choose to live in integrity, then you'll be kept from further sins which would or could wipe us out personally or nationally. What do I mean by that? If you choose, or I choose, or we choose to walk in integrity, it could save us from something that will come more powerful because we continue in that iniquity that could just wipe us out altogether. But it has to be a choice. Amen? Amen? So let me give you this then. Let's move forward. Right here in Genesis, let's move forward. This is the first time you'll find the word integrity. Right here in Genesis chapter 20. First time you read it was in what verse? Verse where? 5. Verse 5. And then you read it again where? In verse 6. So then, make a note of that. This is the first time the word integrity is seen in the Bible. And it's in regard to a king by the name of who? Abimelech. God help us all. And help our nation. That once again, we would see the importance and the value of integrity. Come on and repeat that after me. God, help us all, and our nation, that once again we would see the importance and the value of integrity. You can shout all day long, but integrity is what's going to keep us from iniquity. We can laugh and grin all day long, but if there's the integrity or the iniquity of hatred in our heart, integrity is what's going to keep us from iniquity. Look at what happens here. Notice what happens here. First time it comes up here in the scripture, rather than tell Abimelech that Sarah was his wife, Abraham turns around and breathed and told him that she was his what? His sister. Now, listen to this. He told a half-truth.
That's exactly right.
Because she was a half-sister.
That's right.
She's the sister of one parent,
That's right.
but not the sister of the other parent.
That's right.
And because he feared his life,
That's right.
he told her that when we get where we're going, and anywhere else we come in to, when they inquire about you, you tell them you're my sister. And that's going to spare my life. But watch this. Look at this. Look at this. Because of Abimelech's integrity, God kept Abimelech from sinning with Sarah. Integrity protects us from temptations that bombard us. And that's just not sexual temptation. So a whole lot of times you talk about temptation, we think temptation is always between a man and a woman. No, temptation can be between you and you. Or you and something else. Amen? We're tempted to do a whole lot of things. We're tempted to tell a lie. That's a temptation. We're tempted to cheat on our taxes. That's a temptation. Huh? We're tempted to do something and say, I didn't do it. You got to do that, just don't answer at all. Especially if you're grown, just don't say nothing. But we're tempted, amen? We're tempted to not like somebody that don't like us. That's a temptation. All temptation is not sexual temptation. I'm tempted sometimes to do what I want to do rather than do what God told me to do.
That's right.
I'm tempted sometimes to respond to people the way I know people want me to respond to them so that I can keep my friendship with them. I'm tempted to do that sometimes. But integrity kicks in.
Yeah.
When I know what God is doing and what God is saying, I'm not going to give it to that.
That's right.
I just pray that you'll love me anyway, even if I tell you the truth.
Amen.
Amen?
Amen.
That's a temptation.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'm tempted to do that.
That's right.
Sometimes I'm tempted not to pray when I know God is calling me to pray at that time. Sometimes I'm tempted not to study because I'm too tired to study, but I know He is pulling on me to get with Him and spend some time with Him. But I'm tempted not to do it.
Yeah.
Look at somebody say, temptation comes in many forms. Some of y'all get tempted sometimes not to hear me. You just sit there and...
No, I heard y'all. Yep.
And it ain't me talking, it's God talking to us. But here's what happened. Look at this. Here's what happened. Look at this. Integrity protects us from temptations that bombard us and protects us from the carnal intentions that otherwise would so easily ensnare us. Go back again. Read that story in your reading time. I got to move forward. Verse number 7, and this is my last. Verse number 7, because my time is gone. Verse number 7. Let's look at it. And I want to do 7a. Genesis 20, I want to do 7a, which means I don't want to do the whole verse. I want to do part of it. So let me read it to you. Now, therefore, restore the man his wife, God says to Abimelech. Give him his wife back. Now, by right, because Abraham lied to them, and then God, through a dream, deals with Abimelech, he is the king. he could have had his servants to take Abraham's head off. Y'all hear me? Don't tell me that integrity won't protect you from iniquity. The brother was tuned up. He was ready. He was fired up in his flesh. He was looking at Sarah. My, she looks mighty. We getting ready to get it on. And God bust up in a dream and tell Abimelech she's not his sister. She's his wife. And because of integrity, he backs off. But listen to what the Lord says in verse number 7. He says, restore the man his wife. Listen to this. For he, Abraham, is a, you tell me who he is. Y'all in verse number 7? Yes. All right, don't be scared then. Talk to me. He's a what? Prophet. He's a prophet. Who is this talking? God. Who is he talking to? Abimelech. And he told Abimelech to do what? Give him his wife back. And here's how God halted Abimelech. Because probably in his heart, he was getting ready to say, that rascal came on my territory, in my kingdom, lied to me in my face, and then when it's revealed to me, I'll take his head off. But God said, whoa, he's a prophet. And on over later he says, touch not my anointed and do my prophet no harm. Now whether you think somebody's a prophet or not, you still stay in your place. Because if you do, you don't have to take it up with the prophet. You got to take it up with Abraham. Didn't say nothing to Abimelech. God stepped in at that point and he said, whoa! I know what you ought to do, but wait a minute. He is a prophet. Now Abimelech probably sitting up there saying, just like some of you would be saying, he ain't nothing but a liar. But God said he's a prophet. Some of y'all get your huddles and in your circle, and you would have said, Abraham ain't nothing but a low-down, dirty liar. Some of y'all would have been calling the DAS word. And God said he is a prophet. Look at this, and I'm done. Look at this. Look at this. And he shall pray for you. And you're going to live. Listen to this. Listen to what God is saying. First time in the Bible. Jot it down. This is the first time in the scriptures, in verse number 7, that you'll find the word prophet. Look at all these firsts in Genesis. First time the word integrity appears. And this is the first time that the word prophet appears. First time. Now, if there was ever a time that God, and this is only in my opinion, and I know that my opinion doesn't matter a whole lot when it comes to God's opinion, but this is the first time, in my opinion, that if God was going to ever, or I thought should have never, introduced Abraham as a prophet. That's just my opinion. That's my opinion. If God was going to introduce him, my opinion says he should have introduced him as somebody else, but not as a prophet. That's just my opinion. But what I want to point out to you is that my opinion matters not when it comes to how God sees somebody. Amen, lights? See, that's the point I want to make. My opinion doesn't matter when God sees you the way God sees you. I don't care what somebody else is calling you. What God says about you is what really matters.
Amen.
And many of you right now, where you are, because of what you knew God was saying. Many people told you how they would have handled your marriage and how they would have handled your situation. And child, I would have walked away 10 years ago. And child, I would have given up a long time ago. And child, I wouldn't stay on that job. And child, I wouldn't keep going to that church. And child, I wouldn't do this. And child, I wouldn't do that. And you'd be childing everybody. But be still and know what God is saying to you. They call you stupid. God called you a wife.
Amen. Yeah.
They call you crazy. God calls you a husband.
Yeah.
They call you an illegitimate child.
Yeah.
God calls you my son or my daughter. Help me somebody. They call you nuts. But God calls you faithful. Help me somebody. They call you a thief, but God calls you blessed. Somebody just point to yourself, and it matters what it matters what God calls you. That's why some of y'all get all blown out of the water when somebody else calling you something. Don't you let nobody define you. You let God define who you are. And no matter where you came from or where you are now or where you are going or what you have fallen from and how many times you have fallen, you let God define you. Look at yourself and say it matters who He calls you. Before they ever put doctor on my name, I already knew I was there. You know why? Because God told me that years ago. They don't have to crown me bishop because God called me that years ago through the womb of Hazel Bishop. And so, it doesn't matter what anybody else calls you. God said, He is my prophet. Some of y'all, people in your family, people around you, are calling you sad because you're still going through some stuff that they tell you you ought to be over by now. But just know what God is calling you. He said, that's my child. And weeping only endure for the night, but joy is coming in the morning. Somebody say, He's calling me joy. My name might be Dennis, but when God calls me, He says, hey, Joy, help me somebody. I don't care what they're calling you. Somebody say, He calls me different. They call me sad. They call me sorrowful. But He calls me joyful. You remember the scripture that every time the angel came down and somebody was getting ready to have a baby, and they said, and thou shalt call his name. Whatever. So here's what happens, and I'm done. Here's what happens. In my opinion, I didn't think rightfully that with God introducing Abraham, that He should have introduced him as a prophet. I would think it would be right here. If there was ever time He was going to introduce Abraham and not introduce him as a prophet. In my opinion, if that was the case, I would think it would be right here. I would think that God would be embarrassed by and upset with and ashamed of calling Abraham a prophet when he stood before the king and lied to him. See, that's how some of y'all think God thinks. Somebody falls short of the glory of God and y'all ready to write them off already. They can't preach to me no more. They can't talk to me no more. I don't want them to pray for me. Who ever told you when they went into their closet and got it right with God and came back out again? And God says, if you just receive from them the blessing you've been waiting on, I'm going to use them to bring that blessing. Help me somebody. If you don't believe that, but some of y'all still looking at the grave, you don't believe that, look within yourself. You're not walking where you've always. Get your head out of the air and turn your nose back down. You're not walking where you always walk. And God still use you to mama, daddy. Huh? Because it's not your gift, it's God's. I gotta quit. Some of y'all when people get up and minister because you know their life. life, and you know where they have been, and you know what trouble they got in their home, and with their marriage, and with their job, because you know some of those things. Because you had a one-sided conversation. Don't tell me I'm wrong, because I see you. I watch you. That when they get up to minister, everything, sometimes I sit and look at folk in the spirit. Sometimes I sit around and I look at folk in the spirit. Their head jumps timing. They sitting there with God. Thank you, Jesus. Hallelujah. Bless your name, God. And somebody get up to minister, and because they've had a one-sided conversation with somebody else about that person, or you know something about them, here's what their head jumps timing. The praise cease, the hallelujah goes away, the stiffness comes. Somebody can jump up in their preaching or their teaching that you don't know nothing about and say Jesus is a dog, and you holler, amen! But then somebody else can get up who's been forgiven. I ain't talking about me, so don't worry about it. Don't put your feet like, no, I'm talking, I sit sometimes and I see folk with other folk on ministry. Not just preaching, but doing whatever their ministry gift is. And folks head jumps time. And they do this number. And want you to know that I just locked down on you. So I started feeling. I started saying, and God calls him, after I read this, my prophet. The man who told a lie. The man who misled Abimelech. The man who jeopardized his wife and his nation. And God turns around and busts up in the life of Dennis Bishop / Abimelech and say, hey fella, he's my man. He's my spokesman. He's my prophet. But then I had to flip over. And I ain't going to flip it. Last night in my dream, when I was ministering this word for the sake of time, I dropped the mic. That happened in my dream last night. When I come back, so that's why y'all gotta give me, when I come back, if the Lord tarries, I'll take you to another couple of passages of scripture. But integrity protects from iniquity. Father, we thank you for our time together today. Let the words of our mouth, meditations of our heart, be acceptable in thy sight, O Lord. Our strength and our Redeemer. While we don't condone the sins of men and women, we do understand the grace and the mercies of God. While we don't wink at, laugh at the troubles that sometimes human beings cause in the lives of other human beings, we still understand the grace and the mercies of our God. That while we don't applaud downfalls and backsliding ways, we do understand the grace and the mercies that will keep us from showing partiality to one who does or has fallen from God's grace. Just as you gave us this example through Abraham, but most through Abimelech, who heard your word and followed your direction. We say to you today, speak, Lord, for thy servant hear thee. restored us. Every one of us sitting in this place today, you have restored us, God. Oh, we hadn't always walked in integrity, but you have restored us. And thank you for where we walk now. With a renewed heart and a renewed mind and a renewed spirit. And in the integrity that the Bible speaks of here in Genesis. Touch somebody today under the sound of my voice and save somebody as only you can. Deliver somebody today. Set captives free. Bring backsliders back into the